In this video, we are going to answer the question of how Song China managed to decrease in size, yet increase in power. The Northern Song Dynasty began in 960 after Chao Kuan-yin, who would from then on be known as Emperor Taizu, forcibly took the throne of the Chao Dynasty. As threats of invasion from the north began to increase, Taizu thought, "Oh, these guys up here are starting to become a problem," and created the largest military in existence. As this threat of invasion became even more prominent, Song Innovation delivered new military technology to give them an edge over the invaders, such as steel arrowheads, fire and bomb launching devices, and gunpowder. During this time, China's population doubled and its wealth grew by a factor of 10, which sparked a diverse rejuvenation of China's civil service system as the involvement of Confucian text in the examinations to enter the system caused more people to become interested in joining the government. Trade boomed as shipbuilders made their advancements, and navigating with a southern pointing compass also became possible. Woodblock printing increased the distribution of literature, which increased literacy and resultantly education. Iron and steel production improved, suspension bridges were created, the streets of Kaifeng, which is the capital of the Northern Song, were abuzz with business and commerce, so much so it attracted a Jewish population which still has traces in China today. Better yet, Kaifeng had 2,000 firefighters and a government that distributed alms. Despite their economic, political, and social superiority over the rest of the world, the Song lacked military power even with Taizu's intervention. The Jurchens of the Jin dynasty knew how to use war cavalry very well, and as they conquered the Khitans of the Liao dynasty by the 12th century, their immediate next move was, to the Song's dismay, to conquer the Song. The Jurchens' first attack in 1125 was successful, as the Song didn't have enough of the integral war horses, and they were by no means as well trained as those of the Jurchens. Therefore, when the Jurchens retreated back north to avoid the summer heat and returned in the winter for a few years in a row, the Song reassembled each summer in an effort to eradicate their opponents. Realizing their own inferiority, the Song later tried to avoid any interactions between the Jurchens in an effort that wasn't paying off very well, as the north was seized by the Jurchens. Then, this guy named Wei Fei comes along and starts to become the Song's savior with a few key counterattack victories. He was so good of a general, in fact, that the Song court peace party minister Qin Gui ordered his death in 1142, for he was too threatening. Here lies the first of the Song's two fatal mistakes, since the north was eventually taken over by the Jurchens under mutual consent, as no Song general was able to reconquer the lost land. What a pity. After the substantial loss of territory, the Song dynasty was moved south and called the Southern Song dynasty. The Southern Song brought a much more militaristic attitude, conscious of their loss of land to the Jurchens. Going back over to the civilian side of the spectrum, though, a continued revival of Confucian texts, collectively known as Neo-Confucianism, was taking over. The Southern Song philosopher in particular who helped tie it all together was Zhu Xi. He interpreted the 4 books of Confucian tradition and was very involved in education and making a manual of family ritual. This cultural power existed in the arts as well. Li Qingchao, the most famous female Chinese poet, wrote in a form called qi, which involved poems being sung to the tune of old songs and were much more dramatic. It became very popular in part because of her. Ma Yuan was a renowned Southern Song artist who produced many well-acclaimed works over the years, one of his hallmarks being to structure his works in only one corner of the paper. The Southern Song could never attain power as great as the Northern Song had. They were a society in exile from their true home, and had a recurring dream of taking it back over and starting fresh. Bear in mind, though, that this was a completely theoretical idea without the ideal military to support it. It would eventually come to haunt them, however. The Mongols attacked the Jurchens in 1211 as their destiny to world domination continued. Some 10 to 15 years later, the Mongols attacked the Jurchens again, this time with the help of the Southern Song, of whom they guaranteed all land south of the Yellow River too. The tag team effort eventually worked out, and the Jin dynasty was conquered. The Song did win some of their land back, but what happened after that was the second fatal decision made by the Song. Completely conscious of the agreement the Mongols made with them, The song attempted to claim some of the territories north of the Yellow River, just like a little kid reaches into the cookie jar when their parent warns them not to, and sparked a completely avoidable Song-Mongol War. The pretenses of this war forced the Song to migrate back south and condense into an iconic defensive strategy of theirs, with the Mongols having stronger war horses similar to the Jurchens. They built walls which towered over the incoming horseback riders, they being the Song, on hills and near cities in order to stop the Mongol momentum, of whom were attacking the Song from 3 different directions. With this defensive mindset came a resultant lack of offensive campaigns and an attitude to stall rather than to conquer. However, this paid off at first as the Mongols were not able to make any real progress with the tall mountains and canals and walls, thus making the Song seem stronger than they actually were and forcing the Mongols to retreat for some 2 years. Kublai Khan then became the Mongol leader in 1260, determined to conquer the Song once and for all. He founded the Yuan dynasty and moved his capital to Dadu, which is now Beijing. This decision was for the better, as the Mongols went on to launch a new attacking movement which helped break through some of the walls and seize Linan, the southern Song capital. Despite this, the Song maintained their coveted strategy in what would be the penultimate nail in their coffin. The stationary walls simply weren't powerful enough to contain the Mongols if they came in large enough groups, and because of this the Song were consistently on the back foot, with no way to recover as they had against the Jurchens. The defensive strategy ultimately was failing because the Song had no backup plan and no military leaders to create one, or better yet, create a better plan altogether. Inevitably, Kublai Khan broke through the Song defense in 1279, conquering the Song and ending the regime entirely. In summary, the Song had all the materials to be great and were very powerful for various reasons, but their own destiny interfered with their path to greatness and sent the world crashing down onto their heads.